What's up, Mets fans? Welcome back to the True Mets Talk podcast. It's your boy CP, and we are talking about the red hot start from Pete Alonso in this early 2025 season as we are 11 games through. I am recording this in the afternoon before game 12. The Mets are taking on the Marlins this afternoon, and we are getting into some of the numbers surrounding this awesome start from Pete Alonso, who has been the best first baseman in the National League thus far, and also the New York Mets' best hitter as the offense is still trying to click on all cylinders and get to that optimal point. Before we fully get into this video, please do smash those thumbs up buttons. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, if you want more videos and streams for our beloved New York Mets on YouTube here. Subscribe and let me know your thoughts and opinions, Mets fans, down below in the comment section about this very discussion. Pete Alonso is, again, producing just elite numbers thus far. You can see on the left-hand side of your screen and see how, maybe the approach is affecting things with some of the numbers and the compare and contrast from 2024 to 2025. Pete Alonso finished the 2024 campaign, which was a little bit underwhelming for him in the regular season before he caught a hot streak at the right time during the playoffs, especially in that wild card series against the Brewers with that huge home run off of Devin Williams in Game 3. 31 total doubles in the 2024 campaign for Pete Alonso. The strikeout rate was above league average at 24.7%. The hard hit rate actually was pretty good, and that indicated some bad luck throughout the season in 2024. And the chase rate was a little bit high, but still not abysmal for Pete Alonso in 2024 when you look at it in its entirety. But everything seems to be clicking correctly for Pete Alonso in the early goings. I understand it's just 11 games. It's a small sample size, but the pace in which he is on right now is simply elite. Not going to hesitate to label him the best first baseman in the National League as of right now, and maybe even in the entirety of the MLB. And we'll see why here in just a second. Five doubles so far for Pete Alonso. You see the strikeout rate at 10.6%. Now, clearly, these numbers aren't really sustainable. There is going to be some regression because you cannot keep this type of production up. I mean, you take a look at the OPS, over 1100. The on base percentage for Pete Alonso so far in the early goings is 447. We know that these numbers are going to regress, but just how much are they going to regress for Pete Alonso? And that is what we are all looking out for, as the contract year is still in full effect, just like it was last year with him signing that short-term deal. And it was a drama-filled offseason for Pete Alonso and the New York Mets front office trying to get a deal done. But ultimately, he comes back on a 2-year deal with an opt-out after the first year. Vlad Guerrero Jr. has his extension, so that's a baseline number. No, Pete Alonso is not going to get anywhere close to $500 million, even if he has a career year, given the age discrepancy there. But he's still looking for a long-term deal, 6 to 8 years, anywhere in that range. And you could be rest assured that he was looking for $200+ million last season. He's going to be looking for that same amount in total contract value again in this offseason. Whether he is given that number by the New York Mets or a different team, he is not going to hesitate at this point to take the best offer. But the one thing that Pete Alonso, and as you look at the hard hit rate here in the early goings of 2025 at a whopping 67.6%. Again, he is hitting the baseball very hard, and he is crushing mistakes from the opposing pitchers. And the chase rate is down, again, only through the first 11 games. We'll see how that holds up, but that indicates a lot of great changes in the approach. And you can also see that from his on-base percentage. He is taking the walks when the pitchers are giving it to him. But the one thing that failed Pete Alonso last season was a certain situation, and that was with runners in scoring position. Only hit 232 with 7 home runs and a 762 OPS with runners on. And this is where we get to this graphic right here in the difference in the success of Pete Alonso thus far into the 2025 season with runners on. He's hitting 357 with 3 home runs, over a 1,500 OPS, and a slug that's over 1,000 with runners in scoring position. He has been the best Mets hitter in this lineup, hands down. And that is crazy enough to say, especially as Francisco Lindor continues to get hot, and a lineup that now possesses Juan Soto. Pete Alonso is carrying his weight and then some. In general, when we have seen the Mets offense struggle, I guess through and through with runners in scoring position and the total numbers. The one guy that they can rely on in this situation has been Pete Alonso. And you take a look at his baseball savant page, red all across the board. The strikeout rate, he is in a great percentile there. And really, in order to contribute to that, you have to take a look at the chase rate from Pete Alonso, and that is getting exponentially better. And you can just see it with the naked eye when you watch his at-bats. Every single at-bat, he looks locked in no matter what the result is. He could strike out and still look really locked in at the plate. That is how noticeable these differences from year to year of Pete Alonso are. So whatever he did in the offseason, whatever drills he was doing, whatever sort of mental approach he was trying to instill within himself clearly is working. And he's also locked in defensively as well. You see there down at the bottom. I know it's cut off just a little bit, but the range for Pete Alonso, we've already seen defensively. The throws are no problem to second base. Some of the stretches, I mean, Pete Alonso is one of the best when it comes to, the stretches and digging baseballs out and the scoops to save his infielders. He is just locked in as good as it gets, really, on all cylinders and every facet of the game. He is locked in. And this is exactly where this takes me to in terms of comparing him to the rest of the National League. We know that he's going to want to get his money, and he is going to get his money if he keeps up this pace, because at this point, through the first 11 games, Pete Alonso, hands down, is the best first baseman in the National League. And again, as you take a look at the numbers across the entirety of the MLB at this position, you can also say that he's the best first baseman in baseball right now as it currently stands. Batting average, first. Home runs, he's tied for second with Enrique Hernandez from the Los Angeles Dodgers. Doubles, tied for first with Josh Naylor. RBIs, first with 15. Strikeouts, he is tied for 14th among National League first basemen for total strikeouts. He is making contact, and he is making hard contact, and he is getting on base for the New York Mets. OPS is first, and on base percentage is first for Pete Alonso. 447 on base percentage. He is locked in. Ladies and gentlemen, Mets fans, we need to cherish and continue to root on Pete Alonso, because even Steve Cohen said it himself. He would love for Pete Alonso to be absolutely locked in and force the New York Mets to give him the money he wants. Steve Cohen said it last season. Pete Alonso failed. They're giving him another opportunity, and it seems like Pete Alonso is trying to seize that opportunity and seize the moment to get that long-term deal. We'll see how he continues. We'll give a little bit of a status update on Pete Alonso as the season progresses and kind of compare and contrast some of the numbers, just like we did in this episode. Again, if you enjoyed the content, if you enjoy these individual videos about individual Mets players and the individual statistics, please do smash on that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you all on the next video. Peace.